Hi traders, in today's video I am going to tell you the top 5 tips about how to buy, to code, to get an EA in this time and age, how to properly analyze an EA before buying it, before putting it on your live account, because the markets are very tough and they are going to be tough because all of these crazy events that are happening in the world, they won't be making the markets easier, so you have to prepare. And this field is full of scams that want you to believe that you will be a millionaire with a random EA that you buy for $100 or $1,000, and it is very hard to actually select the right one because the marketing of the worst scamming EAs are huge and they cheat as they can, so you can't really tell which EA is good and which one is actually not good. It is very hard to tell. And I want to make a video about what you should listen to, what you should see and analyze and check when you want to get a real EA. And I have to tell you that it is not an easy work to create a successful EA. You need years of experience in coding, in data analysis, in how to put together mathematical equations and price action patterns and probability analysis to make something good on live markets. Let's start. First of all, don't buy an EA unless it has at least 10 years of historical backtesting data. And I am saying this because many traders believe, and many of you have great understanding of the market, who write me on Telegram. You have questions, you have great questions, but there are also many traders who believe that you don't have to have 10 years of data minimum with 99% minimum data quality to actually just start to be able to analyze an EA. They believe that you only need like 2 or maybe 3 years, but even 1 year. And their reasoning is that it's because the markets are rapidly changing and you don't need that backtest data for 10 years when the markets, you are trading now on the markets on live. So why would you like test it for 10 years when you only have to adopt it for the last year? And it couldn't be further from the truth. You know why? Because in the market there are cycles, and these cycles are different each year. So when you are only testing an EA for 1 year, it could very well mean that you are blowing your account the next year because you only prepared your algorithm for one particular market. But the markets have like a ton of different cycles, and you have to see your EA that you want to code or buy in different market cycles to prepare. For example, when you just test for 1 year, you could make an algorithm to 100% win rate. It is easy, and it doesn't mean anything. It very well can be that in the next year it is going to be 0% win rate and account blowing. And when you are testing for at least 10 years, it means you have seen different kind of market periods and cycles, and the best the best example is many EA sellers, and I realized this a couple months ago because some traders wrote me that I should test this and this EA for them. Um, and I realized many EA sellers only test their EAs from the end of COVID to today. And when I tested those EAs from the beginning of COVID, they blew the account. And it is because, for example, the COVID markets were really different than any other market. And it is another sequence that could happen, that can happen again. And if you don't test it for that cycle, you know what? You will lose your account when there is a different cycle. And with all the wars and all the catastrophes in the world, you should absolutely test for a minimum of 10 years with a minimum of 99% tick data quality, with of course swap included and realistic spread. It is just a must. The second, and it is one thing that I didn't really see many EA sellers or coders or like retail traders who are coding EAs for themselves doing Monte Carlo analysis. You need to do Monte Carlo stress analysis if you want an EA that you can actually trust in the markets, because as you see, the markets are pretty crazy and you need to do anything and everything you can to have a robust system for many kind of scenarios. And in my opinion, Monte Carlo stress analysis is a great tool above the normal backtest for at least 10 years. And it is because you can go ahead, do a Monte Carlo stress analysis, and you can reorder all the trades, randomize your parameters, and see how your EA would actually react in completely random markets in different scenarios. And my tip is to at least do, or or buy an EA that uh, that has at least 1,000 simulations with the Monte Carlo stress analysis. And if you want to buy any of my EAs, you can ask me to send you this analysis so you can actually see what are the best scenarios and the worst scenarios in the worst case that can happen to an EA. Because many EAs, you can have an insane amount of drawdown. And when I am coding and updating my EAs now in this tough market situation, I always I am always making sure to do this at least with 1,000 simulations. So, and and with even that, DAs can't reach a high amount of drawdown, and that is a great indication that the EA is going to be safe in any market conditions. Basically, it is very important. If you are interested in more detail in Monte Carlo stress analysis, and if you want me to make a video about it, how to interpret it, just let me know in the comments, because it is one of the best tools. And also I want to make a video about it because I would like to publish it on my website for my EAs, and I want everyone to understand it and what you should look for in these tests. The third tip is to buy an EA or code an EA or use an EA that is tested on multiple kind of markets, like ranging market, trending market, and volatile markets. These three kind of markets, the EA that you will be using on live accounts, they should be tested on these different ones. And I know that many traders like to only trade on different kind of market, but actually you can't really know what kind of market is going to be at what time, and most indicators are lagging indicators. And so based on like 10,000 testing that I've done with trend traders, range traders, it is insanely tough to, to tell apart which market conditions are going to happen. So prepare your EA for every market condition, and of course it is good if your EA prefers trending market, but it has to do okay in ranging markets as well. And this is what I am working on to uh, to to adopt all my EAs to this particular sentiment. So they are good in every situation. They can have a preference when they thrive, really, but in other scenarios, they shouldn't, lose money, like in a crazy way, because that is not how an EA should work. Because then you can't trust it. So all these kind of methods are going into developing an EA, and this is why when traders ask me about why I am so critical of many EAs, and why I honestly can't say uh, anything about really about other EAs other than the ones I coded, because I know what I put into my EAs. But in other EAs that I don't see the code of the EA of and how they tested it, I would have to retest it and re-optimize it, test it with Monte Carlo, with forward testing, with Volk forward testing. So I would have to do it all over again. So it is not not an easy work. Um, so my so in this third tip is just to test your EA in every situation, and make sure that in a situation that is not particularly good for the EA, that it is not very bad. The fourth tip is to always choose an EA with diverse money management risk systems. And this is one of the weakest point of many EAs I have seen. Many EAs don't really have adjustable risk management parameters. That is, for me, unacceptable, because as a user you should be able to adjust your EA's risk management features a little bit. You should also be able to optimize it if you want. In my opinion, I like freedom. For example, stop loss, of course, it is basic. Take profit, it is basic. But you should be always able to adjust what kind of risk you are taking on each trade. For example, what I implemented, I think for me, I tried 5 different versions of risk management, and this was the best for calculating risk, especially when you don't want to reach a certain amount of risk, like at a prop firm. And it is a volume, a risk percent parameter. When you don't, it is not a risk percent parameter where you tell the EA what percentage it can use from your capital to trade, but when it calculates the exact risk that you are taking based on your stop loss and of course account capital. For example, if you put 1%, it means when it hits stop loss, you are going to lose 1%. And this way you can calculate how much consecutive losses you can have to not reach a certain drawdown and stuff. It is much easier to calculate risk this way. It is just one example of money management, but also based on all my stress testing, Monte Carlo analysis, and forward testing. You should have at least 3 dynamic exits. Dynamic exits that can close your trades before TP or stop loss based on certain specific strategies, based on indicators, time functions, or price action. And when you add these dynamic exits to your strategy, it makes your strategy so much more robust to any market change. And this is a key when you want to trade successfully. Because if you don't have the opportunity, your EA don't have the opportunity to close trades dynamically, you stuck with the stop loss, take profit, and most of the time it is not enough. And dynamic exit strategies can be just as complex as your entry strategy, and they should be. And the last tip, the fifth tip, is to, when you buy an EA, just run it on a small account for like just a couple of weeks to get a feel of it, because I see many traders micromanaging their trades, and it is because they don't know the EA, so it is understandable why they are doing that, but I don't recommend to do it. It is okay if you like adjust the money management parameters of your EA, but if you close it here and there, it gives the wrong habits, and over time you can't make your 10 years tested, stress tested strategy better if you micromanage, because it is just now how probability analysis works. Maybe your human mind is very emotional, it works that way, but overall numbers are not that. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was very useful. Make sure to check out my website with many blog posts and interesting content and reliable robots, and you can ask me about any of them through email or even WhatsApp, Telegram, and also all the prices include future updates and the team viewer type setup if you need help, and support from the developer, who is me. So see you in the next one. Ciao.